receiving like he did on Sunday. Again, give the Los Angeles Rams credit. That defense is outstanding. The what they drew up against Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins in that offense, it was a work of art. It clearly worked. They held the Cardinals to 232 yards, Joe. That's like almost 70 yards below what they give up on average. 232 yards? How do you counteract that? How do you counteract the defense that's that good? You can't. Even with a top-tier quarterback like Kyler Murray and one of the best wide receivers in the league and an outstanding running back in Kenyon Drake, he was non-existent on Sunday. 10 rushes for 49 yards. Yes, he had a touchdown run, but less than 50 yards rushing. The team had 92 yards rushing as a whole. This is the fourth-ranked rushing offense in the National Football League, and they hold you to under 100 yards rushing. Wow, just again, tip your cap to the Los Angeles Rams for what they did on Sunday against the Cardinals.
Yep, they've been able to turn that. That team's been able to turn it around. I do tip my hat off because I was not expecting for them to have the season that they are having this season whatsoever. So definitely tip of the hat to the Rams. But another tip of the hat that I want to give to is Aaron Rodgers. No surprise there.
Yeah, big surprise there, Joe.
No, but tip of the hat to Aaron Rodgers. Hold on.
That's not a long branch out there to jump on, is it?
No. Well, here's the thing. You're jumping ahead of me, Ed. Let me finish. Let me finish the sentence.
Okay.
He's been the fastest to reach 400 touchdown passes at 37 years old.
In what, 193 games? Is that right?
193 outings.
Mm-hmm.
He's on pace to earn the MVP for the year. There's just no stopping Aaron Rodgers. I think he just keeps hitting milestone after milestone this season. And I believe that this is his best season of his career, probably. And there's no stopping him. And he's only getting better. And yes, the Packers did win. Of course, they played the Eagles. That was a 30-16 victory for the Packers, 9-3. We knew going in that how that was going to turn out. It was a given. But,
yes.
That's my tip of the hat to Aaron Rodgers. Wentz was sacked for 10 consecutive games. Ouch. So,
I'll get to Carson Wentz. I'll get to Carson in a minute, but I think Aaron is still carrying a grudge against the Green Bay Packers for drafting Jordan Love. Do you agree with me? And he talked about that recently about so he had kind of a backhanded snip at the Packers organization. It was on a podcast, I believe, and he was like, "Well, yeah, I kind of knew I was going to be this good, even though some people in organization may not have believed in me." I.e. them drafting Jordan Love, because maybe there was some people in the Packers organization that thought maybe Aaron was done. And that's why they were drafting Jordan Love to be the future for the Green Bay Packers. And that lit a fire under Aaron Rodgers. And we're seeing that this year.
It could be. I don't think so. I can see where that's coming up, where that was kind of magnified upon. But, also, planning ahead, the Packers did this. When Brett Favre and bringing in Aaron Rodgers, and if you look at it, it's at the right time. Not kicking off Aaron Rodgers and putting him to the sideline. No, not at all. At the same time, you also have to think and be able to have a backup who that can be, grooming that potential who's good, who would be a potential starter in the future for Aaron Rodgers. But you also have to keep in mind, he and I can see where some of this concern may come about is Aaron Rodgers did have has had a couple of tough seasons, and he's had in the past, being injured and everything. So maybe he was just planning ahead. Hey, should Aaron Rodgers be injured? Having someone coming in, not only having a backup quarterback, but also having someone in addition to that. Because we saw when Aaron Rodgers, when he had a broken collarbone, how tough that was. The Packers weren't the best after that hit that took down Aaron Rodgers. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration. But maybe it did light a fire under his butt and be like, hey, I'm going to prove you wrong, and having the best season of his career. Hey, I don't know. That's, that's a question to ask Aaron and see if that's the case.
And I feel your side where you're coming from, but I'm looking from Aaron's side as far as him wanting more weapons offensively. Yes, Devontae Adams is one of the best, if not the best wide receiver in the league. Allen Lazard is an outstanding wide receiver. Robert Tonyan is an excellent tight end. But Aaron wants more. He wants more weapons, because we know Devontae Adams has had kind of a spotty history as far as his health is concerned. Same thing with Allen Lazard. He had core muscle surgery this year. So when his targets are there, when his weapons are there, like Devontae Adams, he's caught a touchdown pass in 7 straight games. I believe that's an NFL record.
Yes.
My goodness, Devontae Adams,
Amazing.
When he's healthy, he is the best wide receiver in football, no question. But when he's not healthy, when Aaron doesn't have all of his weapons, if he doesn't have Aaron Jones back there in the backfield, of course, the kid was a monster on Sunday, 15 for 130 and a touchdown. When his weapons are hurt, when those guys are banged up, it's a different Green Bay Packers football team. And that's what Aaron was asking for. He was just asking probably for more help on the offensive side, not to draft another quarterback.
Yeah, and that's another, I do also see that. That's a good point, Ed, because you have to have that. If you don't have those pieces, it's like playing chess. You have to have the right pieces in order to win.
Right.
And if you're not being given those pieces or those are taken away from you, you're at a stalemate and you just get checkmate. He has those pieces now. Yes, Devontae Adams has been phenomenal.
Out of this world.
Exactly. I'm like, I have no words to describe. We saw it yesterday. Oh my gosh. And that's, when you have those right pieces too, not only as a quarterback do you succeed, but you also succeed as a team. And
yes.
You're able to showcase, great players, their skills, and help them make them even better players.
Exactly.
So, with what you just said. So yeah, I don't know, but I just hope that Aaron Rodgers keeps on pace. He's just phenomenal this season, and hopefully they make it to the Super Bowl.
You'd love that, wouldn't you?
I would love that. Yes.
I would love a Green Bay Packers New Orleans Saints NFC Championship game. If it's Rodgers and Breeze, that would be amazing. Because right now it just looks like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are. They a few weeks ago they were the darlings of the NFC alongside the Saints and the Packers, but they've struggled a lot recently. They've lost a lot of home games, a lot of primetime home games, and the relationship between Bruce Arians and Tom Brady has to be strained. And I don't know if part of it is because Tom Brady wanted Antonio Brown there when Bruce Arians clearly didn't want him there. I don't know if that was part of the rift which it seems like Arians and Brady has, and it's also a situation where Tom Brady is probably not really being utilized properly in Bruce Arians' system. We know Bruce Arians. You and I know him from his days with the Cardinals. He's a very headstrong head coach. What he wants to do is what he wants to do. And I don't know if he's really scheming correctly for Tom Brady, for the greatest quarterback of all time in his system. And I know it takes time for Tom to learn a new system because he's only known one system under Bill Belichick. Now he has to learn a whole new system under Bruce Arians. So it does take time. But is the time being utilized properly with Bruce Arians and Tom Brady?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to bring it in later, but let's jump on that because Tom Brady has not had the best of the games recently. And we've seen it. There's something that's missing there, whether that's Tom Brady and Bruce Arians whether that's the butting of heads, they're just not in agreement. Antonio Brown, yes, that's probably one of the things to take in consideration of why there's not that connection there. We saw how upset Tom Brady was last game. He wasn't happy whatsoever. Thinking that you have, your guy, come, you brought him along with you. Oh my gosh, Ed, Gronk, and Tom Brady, the dynamic duo.
Yes.
And there's nothing there.
And you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and you've got Cameron Brate, another really good tight end.
Yes.
He's got weapons there. And he's got Leonard Fournette.
You have some great players. You have those pieces there. And one of the best coaches in the league, and you're just keep coming short. Is it because there's something there as a team, as a quarterback coach connection that's just not, that's just not there? Is it Tom Brady? Is he the reason why he's not playing? Tom Brady that we're used to seeing. He is getting up there in age. He's 43. He's not the oldest quarterback. We've had Kurt Warner, who was, I can't remember how old, but he was in late 40s when he retired. I don't know if that's a factor. I just don't know, because this is not, it just sucks to see Tom Brady, seeing the Bucs and all of those great pieces that they have, all those elements, and not being put into place in winning, especially those games that are very important to win. And they're just like watching the Arizona Cardinals play. It's pretty much what it all comes, when I see them now. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's just like, is he going to win? Is he going to tank? Like, what is going to happen? They're on a bye week this week. The Tampa Bay Bucs and North Carolina Panthers. They're both, those two teams are in a bye. They'll be back next week. Tom Brady and the Bucs, they go on and face the Vikings. Vikings have been, they've been pretty good.
Yes,
they won, and
they've won 5 straight. Yes,
they're head to head with the Arizona Cardinals in that playoff contention, which we'll get a little bit into later. But I don't know if Tom Brady's going to be able to come on top and be able to beat the Vikings with the power that they have coming into this next week's game.
Me neither. They've lost 3 straight games at home, Joe. Obviously, we remember that Sunday night game on November 8th when the Saints went there and destroyed them 38-3, and they lost to the Rams on Monday Night Football 27-24, and then they lost to Kansas City last week before the bye 27-24. Patrick Mahomes went in there and got a victory there. But there comes a time when where's the belief system in you? Even when you walk out of your own home building, you think that you should come out victorious. But again, you've got Dalvin Cook and the Minnesota Vikings, and they've got a really good young wide receiver, Jefferson. This kid just passed almost 1,100 yards receiving. This kid is on fire. Him and Kirk Cousins are making some connections. Adam Thielen is still there. He's still a very viable wide receiver. This is a team, again, winning 5 straight games. They were 1-5 at one point. 5 straight victories. They're 6-6. As you say, Joe, they're tied with the Cardinals. They're in contention for a wild card spot, a playoff spot. We know there's an extra playoff spot this year, so that's a critical and crucial game for the Minnesota Vikings to go down to Tampa and come out victorious, which is a very possible scenario, considering the way the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have played at home over the last month.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't think this probably be the first in how long? Brady not making it to a playoff. So the last time that the Patriots and Tom Brady missed the playoffs was in 2008. And that's when Brady missed all but one game with a torn ACL. That's when he had that injury. That's right. Yeah,
2008. Yep. So it's been 12 years.
Yeah. And New England had a non-losing season since 2000 with Belichick's first season as a head coach. This probably may be the year that we'll see that we won't see Tom Brady in the playoffs. And let's hope that maybe they can turn that around in the next, with the very few games that they have, because Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, the coach that Arians is, that we both know, amazing in what he can do, and the amazing quarterback that Tom Brady is with Gronk and all the other great players that are in that team. Great to see that come into fruition and seeing them in the playoffs, but that probably may not be the case.
But Joe, I think it's highly possible, depending on what happens against Minnesota. Their last 3 games after that, 2 with Atlanta, 1 at Detroit. 1 game, their game after Minnesota, they go to Atlanta. The week after that, they go to Detroit. Those are 2 winnable games, and then they finish the season with the Falcons at home. So it's possible, even if they lose to the Minnesota Vikings and they go to 7-6, if they run the table those last 3 games, 10-6 will get you into the playoffs, I would imagine, right?
Hey, we're seeing one of the worst, divisions and teams in the NFL that are going to be making it to the playoffs,
Yep.
Just horrible winning records. So anything's possible this season, as we've come to see this year.
Of course, Tampa would love to run the table, go 11-5, and that would definitely get them into the playoffs. If you win 11 games and you don't make the playoffs, yeah, they'll get in at 11-5.
let's hope.